UFC 266, we're going to see Robbie Lawler facing off with the return of Nick Diaz. And I cannot wait for this one. Now, a lot of people don't even know that they had a first fight, because there's a lot of new fans in this sport. But a lot of fans that are new have seen the news articles and suddenly they're like, oh, I'm going to have a look at that. 2004 UFC 47. Amazing. Robbie Lawler was 8-1 going into that fight. And Nick Diaz was basically the Joe Rogan embodiment. He was what he always relates to and what always says on his podcast, where he's just shouting Stockton and he's slapping and he's hurting Robbie and they're just talking to each other and it's just trash talk to the mass. It's just the most perfect fight if you're a fight fan to watch, and it's a timeless fight. And we know we're going to get another one of this. When you have a Nick Diaz and a Robbie Lawler type meeting, it's the perfect match. Now, the first fight did end with Robbie getting knocked out in the second round. Beautiful, beautiful fight to watch. And it was a lot of Nick getting in the head in the first fight, I believe. But again, they're two different fighters, two completely different generations now. You know, it's a brand new... It's like two new fighters. It really is. And it's going to be amazing to watch. You think Robbie has won a title since then. He defended it against Rory McDonald and Carlos Condit. Diaz fought for a title. He fought GSP. He lost the interim belt to Condit. Condit went on to lose to GSP. Diaz fought GSP. Lost to GSP. GSP did what GSP did. And then he fought Anderson Silva, and it turned into a no contest due to both parties testing positive for banned substances. At the time for Nick, I think it was just marijuana, which is, you know, ridiculous, as everyone knows. New Robbie, though, is unfortunately on a 4-loss streak. The last fight's obviously Magny. You had Colby in there. You had the controversial Askren one. Make of what you will. He was lighting Askren up, got Bulldog choked. You know, it's make what you want. And then also RDA. Before that, beat Cerrone, and before that, obviously got knocked out by Tara and lost the belt. So you've got both fighters, one active who's lost, 4 times in the last however many years, and one who hasn't fought since 6 years ago. I want to say 6.5 years ago. 2015, I believe, was his last fight against Anderson, which is a monstrous amount of time to take off. Especially, like, I don't know whether he was necessarily in his prime, because I believe he's 37 years old now. And Robbie's, 38 or 39? You know, these guys are pushing towards the 40. They're the wrong side of 30. But Nick and Nate, you know, that all they do is triathlons. All they do is Ironmans. All they do is cardio. They're 10-round wars. Faraz Sahabi said Nate Diaz would be the most feared fighter in the division if there was no rounds, essentially. You know, or a 10-round fight. It's just, these guys just don't stop going. Lawler's got really good cardio. Lawler's a completely different fighter than the ruthless Robbie we grew up watching. But he's now coming to the end. And Nick is making a nice little, I don't know whether you want to say comeback, properly comeback. You know, he's not going for a belt. He's probably just coming back for the big fights, just for a bit of fans, you know. He wants to give the fans what they want. He is a real superstar, probably bigger than Nate is. And I'm so happy newer fans that joined since the McGregor era will get to experience Nick now. Must remember as well, before Nick fought for a title originally, he was on an 11-fight win streak. GSP famously said if Nick didn't waste, essentially, his time at that period and go off, I know he did get a ban, but he would have been the man. And I believe a lot of people would also state that. So what's going to happen this time around? This time around, I have no idea, and no one does, because you don't know what Nick is going to turn up. Now, what Robbie's going to turn up might be different. He grafted hard against Neil Magny, but Neil Magny's cardio is for days, and his peppering shots and his reach and his grinding just outworked Robbie. I'm going to compare it mostly to his last recent win, which was the Donald Cerrone fight, which was a very even fight. He came out the gates going, and I believe that's what Robbie's going to do in this fight. He's going to come out really cooking, turn on that engine, rev it to 10,000 revs, and just go absolutely nail Nick straight away. That's what I think he's going to do, because he knows if he goes the distance against someone like Nick, obviously, you only can compare it to the old Nick, it's going to be a long night for him. Nick gets stronger as the rounds go on. He is, essentially, in my opinion, a better version of Nate. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's quicker, he's a better boxer. I won't say he's got better jiu-jitsu. I'd say their jiu-jitsu is it's very, very similar. So I'm not going to even face that, because this fight isn't going to the ground. You know, Nick is like Nate. Even though he can go to the ground, and he could probably win a few more fights if he decided to use MMA, essentially, instead of just box or kickbox within the MMA rule set, Nick's just going to strike. Nick is going to want to stand and trade with Robbie, and Robbie's going to want to do the same. They're going to want to put on a massive fight for the fans. This is going to be a fight of the night fight, and it is going to be electric. It's going to be awesome, guys. Who have you got winning this? Are you so happy to see Nick Diaz back? Do you want to see Robbie come back with a win? Do some of you hate Nick? Do you someone who dislike either party? Maybe hate's a strong word, but are you a fan of Nick? Have you seen Nick? Let us know in the comments, guys. If you have liked this video, guys, smash that button. Subscribe to the channel. We're nearing 300 subs. Massive accomplishment for this little channel here. And let's push on for 400. See if we can get it by the end of the year. That's a massive ask. Don't think it will happen, but all you guys are supporting, which has been brilliant. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers.